Did you know that seashells predate man by 500 million years or so? They can be found everywhere. Some of these seashells are found on top of mountains. Some of them have been fossilized and they turn into limestone. I bring this all up because they are on this planet for a reason. Seashells are perpetual workers. All they do is open and close their shells, and they suck in and they filter the water in the oceans and in the rivers and streams, wherever they are located. That's what they do. They just open and close and filter water. While they're filtering that water, they change the pH of whatever it is that's coming through them. These shells have a pH of around 9.4. The water in the ocean is supposed to be 8.2. These seashells are 9. It's got 10 times more electrons. Now, electrons are what neutralize acids. When you have acids, what you have is an absence of electrons. These have an excess of electrons if it's on this side. So these seashells giving off 9.4 pH, all of that excess is going and neutralizing acids that are over here. So we've got ocean acidification. These seashells at 9.4, that's the cure for the problem. So many seashells have been blown out of the ocean by tides and tsunamis and hurricanes and things like that. There are not enough in the ocean waters to maintain. When I say maintain, I'm talking about maintain the 8.2 that it's supposed to be. During that 500,000 years that they've been here, that's all they've been doing is filtering the water and changing the pH of the water so that we could exist. So we need to go out and find all of these seashells that have been blown out of the ocean, whether they're on the shore, whether they're on the mountain, whether they're on your plate. And we got to get them back to the water. But maximize what we find. Realize that it's the outside electrons that are given off first. So what we need to do is take this and multiply it by 1,000 or 1,000,000, however times we can multiply it. And we do that by crushing them up and grinding them up down into a powder. Parts of it strictly as powder, parts go in chunks so it'll fall to the bottom. Various sizes all the way up to powder. And the reason we want to do that is because powder will stay closest to the surface. The acids from the CO2 somewhere around the surface of the water. So if we put powdered seashells on the top of the water at 9.4 pH, immediately go out and neutralize any acid that they can come in contact with until that powder is disintegrated to nothing. But some of the larger chunks, they'll keep going down to every level of the water till the biggest chunks will settle on the bottom, continue to give off 9.4 pH. These shells still have the same DNA as what's needed to create new shell. So if you've got these on the bottom, and if the conditions are right, who knows? That's what we need to do. To that end, when we go in the restaurant and have shellfish, there's nothing wrong with having the shellfish, but hang on to the shells, put them in a bin. As a matter of fact, I've got the first bin. It might be a little gaudy and needs some refining, but this is what I'm talking about. So this is a SeaCycle bin. It's pretty self-explanatory, I think. Just a place to put your seashells so that we can have a collection area, and all of these shells will be ground down so that we can take them back out to sea. Empty them, cover them on the surface of the water, and let them do their thing. And if we do this on a regular basis all over the Pacific Northwest, it'll help rebuild those habitats, all the other bottom feeders to propagate and grow and replenish their stocks. I mean, it's obvious that we've taken too much out of the oceans as it is with our net fishing and dragging the bottom of it, but we won't get into all that. Maybe somebody will realize that the current fish practices just aren't working. We're taking too much out and never putting anything back, like it's an endless resource. Well, You can see with the climate change, there is an end. If we take it all out, we're all going to die. That's all there is to it. Those things have been here to bring that ocean to a consistent pH. I'll give you an example. Bacteria grows at about 5.5 pH. Cities dump waste, and a lot of it is strong acids and other acids. I don't know what the cities are treating their effluent and sewage with, but it all ends up coming back into the ocean. We need barges. We need to dredge any seashell mounds that we can find. We need to dredge them up, grind them down, and we need to put them around wherever the cities are dumping their sewage. We've been doing this for far too long. We've got to treat the oceans and its creatures like they are a living organism. It's got to live. In order for it to live, just like you and I, it has to have the right ingredients. These things are the same thing as in your bone. Calcium carbonate. Everybody needs it. Anything that's got a backbone needs a lot of it. Those creatures that are see-through, they're still made of calcium carbonate. So we've got to get more of it into our oceans. Because they're dissolvable in water, they have to be in water in order for them to carry out their mission, their purpose in life. So when you see them on the top of the mountain or in the middle of a field someplace, think, that's a seashell. Sea, that means it belongs in the sea. You can drop it off into one of the restaurants that have one of these bins and we'll take care of it from there. But we need to collect as many of them as we possibly can. Whether we dredge them up for mounds, collect them out of the trash, pick them up off of the mountaintop. Doesn't matter. We need to get them, treat them, and get them back in the water. And we'll see how fast we'll fix the ecosystems. For example, I'm here in Seattle. We'll start right here in Puget Sound. We can go up and down the west coast. We get to BC and Oregon and then California and so on. And I can see lots of barges out in the water working to solve this problem instead of calling for meetings about the problem. The challenge is huge. I can't do it on my own. I need your help. Whatever you've got that you can contribute, I welcome it. Thanks for watching. I'll be back and we'll carry this on the next